So guys, at the start of the season, Clash Royale introduced the Rune Giant and brought it into the game, and because everyone was complaining about how weak she was, they decided to give her an emergency buff middle of the season. But because everyone has recently been complaining about how strong the Rune Giant has been, they decided to give her an emergency nerf right before the end of the season. A little over a day ago, they made a tweet here saying we are heading into maintenance in 15 minutes to prepare the new season. Two changes will also be introduced. Rune Giant's enhancement adjusted on Hunter, Ramrider, Goblin Machine, Firecracker, and her evolution, and then the Goblin Giant in his evolution as well. And then P.E.K.K.A evolution healing stats have been corrected. So in today's video, I'm going to be testing out the Rune Giant to see if it's still viable with certain things after the nerf it ended up getting. And if you guys are wondering what the Evo P.E.K.K.A change is, this is what it is. The guy in charge of the balance changes, Donald, replied to Too Good here. What exactly was changed about P.E.K.K.A healing stats? Donald here said it was a bug where the Evo was looking at the incorrect hit points. A few borderline cards, Rascal Boy and Prince, were healing her more than they should. So essentially this to me sounds like a small nerf because now she's not going to be healing as much with certain things, but let's test out the Rune Giant. Alright, here we go guys. This current deck I'm using is actually top 5 in the world at the moment. There's still someone in the top 5 even after the big Rune Giant nerfs, so potentially it's still more viable than people would expect. This deck has the Inferno Dragon instead of the Hunter because the Inferno Drag pairs very well with the Rune Giant, and because the Hunter was impacted so heavily, it's a very good replacement. But notice this deck still has the Goblin Giant as well as the Goblin Machine, so maybe both are still viable with the Rune Giant, especially because the Gob Giant was already a well above average win condition before the Rune Giant was added to the game, so maybe it's not super surprising that it still goes well with it. We're just going to go in for a Gob Giant here. I don't want to overcommit on this. I feel like I have to be very careful, so I might just wait and see what he wants to do. And it actually tanked 2 shots, so we're actually probably completely fine here, even if it ends up getting 1 hit on the tower. It's not really that big of a deal. We're just kind of feeling him out, trying to see what cards he has inside of this mortar deck here. And he is going to go in for a Gobstein. Hopefully this rocket can shoot here. Yeah, it is going to be able to. And then we're going to try to get guards here on top of the dock. He does go in for the ability, though. That's actually a very nice ability by him. It does get a lot of value. It is quite a lot of elixir, though, so maybe we are able to capitalize on that. We could get a Rune Giant going here, maybe an Inferno Drag and a Gob Giant. Try to go in, see what we can do, see what the difference is like as far as the difference with the Rune Giant enhancing the Gob Giant here, which I'm about to go in for. So I guess the Spear Gobs don't get upgraded anymore. I don't know for sure, but I guess we'll see how it plays out. This could be a very nice fireball. Yeah, it looks like we are going to be able to hit pretty much everything. So that's going to be very nice. And then we definitely want to get a Rage here going to kill the dock. And wow, I mean, not bad, honestly, especially with the Inferno Drag. Like, the Inferno Drag melted the monster so quick. Wow, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is just, like, the first match, so, hey, I mean, maybe it doesn't, like, say much, but that, honestly, wow. I mean, I don't know. He was struggling to defend. Not bad. Not bad at all. That was probably better than I anticipated. But just the first game, maybe some people are underestimating the Rune Giant, you know, because you know how that is. Sometimes, like, when something strong gets nerfed, people are like, whew, don't have to worry about it anymore. So maybe people just gotta realize, like, oh, you know, you actually still gotta pay attention. We're against Cannoneer again. Are we potentially against the exact same thing? No, he does have Archer, so even if it is a Mortar deck, it's going to be something a little different. High chance it could not even be Mortar, though, potentially. Maybe it is, like, Loon or something, because he's got the Snowball, and that, of course, pairs very nicely with the Balloon Bowler, so it's looking like it is going to be a Giant Graveyard. We do not have a lot of Graveyard counters. I will... You know, I'll be honest there. That could be a tad bit unfortunate, but maybe he doesn't have a lot of DPS for what we got, so we'll just have to see how it goes potentially. So, let's see here. Maybe we could just go in for a Rune Giant, and then maybe we could get a Gob Giant going here as well, and we'll kind of have a little bit of a, I don't know, I guess kind of an interesting situation. So the Barbarians are still smack in the the Gob Giant. Honestly, really good against the Gob Giant, especially with the nerf that the Gob Giant doesn't get the Spear Goblins anymore, allowing it to help take it out. The Inferno Drag did deal a lot of damage, though, so that's quite nice, but I don't know how I feel about this. This is, like, pretty bad, especially if the Rocket doesn't come out here. I feel like we're kind of cooked. Yeah, that's problematic. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to go in here for a Giant Graveyard soon. Not an ideal start. It is nice we do have Fireball for the Barbarians, but we got to make sure we have the Elixir for them, of course, and the Evo Barbs don't get taken out by the Fireball, so that's really scary. I'm going to just Inferno Drag here, and then from there we'll see what he chooses to do. Maybe he'll try to go in for something to take it out, or just let the Bowler die. He's actually going to Giant in the back, which I feel like is really interesting, so he's also going to have to play something to protect the Giant. I'm just setting up in the back here. We could Rage to try to, like, force him to have to snowball, maybe. Yeah, he does do that, so I guess that's pretty good. And then we'll get a Machine going here, and if he decides to go for the Barbarians, we'll have the Fireball ready, which of course is fantastic. So we'll get a nice Fireball there, as well as a Zap. But unfortunately, that allows him to play the Evo Archers, so he is going to defend relatively easily. There's probably not a ton we could have done about that, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get the tower here. I mean, we got a lot of damage, but it's not quite going to be enough, sadly. We will be able to get a nice Rage going here, I guess, and then this Gob Machine hopefully can allow us to protect the tower. I mean, we're not in a great, let's see, we're not like in a great spot because we still have to get his tower, but maybe we're going to be able to. Let's see, the Machine does lock on. I bet you he's probably just going to go in here. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to defend this. Probably pretty unlikely. Yeah, we're just not defending, I don't think, sadly. Yeah, the Giant, that's a rip moment. We're also getting BM'd as well, so that's not fun. So yeah, we won one, we lost one this video. That's the game of Clash Royale though, 50% win rate. Sounds about accurate to me. So yeah, what do you guys think? I honestly think it's somewhat viable, but you're definitely going to have to be more skillful with it, that's for sure. If we quickly pull up the stats of the Rune Giant to compare how many people are using her in the top 200 after the nerf compared to before, we can see 7 people are using her. So massive difference, because before it was about 30, maybe even 35 or 40 people using her inside of the top 200, but it's not completely dead. 7 is definitely not nothing. And as you can see, the highest is the deck I was running it in, but you can use it with the Little Prince and Minor Cycle as well, more Gob Giant and Gob Giant. So those seem to be the only two options, Minor and Goblin Giant. Definitely a lot worse, but at least it's still somewhat playable, so it's not a completely dead card. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you guys are not subscribed already. You can use credit code BOSS to support me in any Supercell game, and thanks again until next time, guys.